What's up guys, welcome to another video. My name is Brian Lozano, and in this channel we talk about digital marketing tips and things that you can do online to help you make more money. In this video, I'm gonna demonstrate to you guys how to use a brand new tool that I've developed on my website. It's the Spend ROI Calculator. So let's check it out. So a very common issue and something that deters people from running ads is the fear that you're gonna be spending a lot of money and not getting much in return. So to eliminate that fear and to kind of give you guidance, I've created an ad spend calculator where it's gonna show you how much it's gonna cost you per click, how much you can expect in terms of revenue, and whether or not that ad campaign that you're planning is gonna be profitable or not. So we're gonna go onto my website where I have the calculator. I'm gonna put a link in the description below. So follow along, let's get started. This is a blog post that I created for you guys. We're gonna go over how to use this ad spend calculator. What we're gonna try to determine here is the return on investment. Why is this important? It's important because ads are a form of automation. And Bill Gates said it best. He said the first rule of any technology used in business is that automation applied to an efficient operation will magnify the efficiency. The second is that automation applied to an inefficient operation will magnify the inefficiency. What I've done here is created a calculator that's gonna show you how efficient your system is, and if you scale that system, it's gonna generate more revenue, or if you have an inefficient setup, and it's actually gonna make you lose a lot of money over time. I don't want you to lose money, so I wanna make sure that I demonstrate to you guys exactly what it is that you should do prior to starting an ad campaign so that you generate a return on investment. So the first thing we gotta determine is the customer lifetime value. This is a very important metric to measure for anything you do online. This is the true value of acquiring a new customer. Customers don't typically just buy one time from your company. Ideally, you're building an online presence and an online campaign that gets people to purchase multiple times. I've said this many times before, it's much easier to sell to someone that has already purchased from you than to sell to someone completely from scratch. What you want to do is measure that over time and have an understanding of what the true value of each customer is, and that's what we're going to calculate here. So we're going to navigate to the customer lifetime value calculator. In this scenario, you can determine if you want to measure on a monthly basis or on an annual basis. Ideally, you'd measure this on an annual basis. How many times does someone purchase on your website throughout the year? Understanding that will give you a true lifetime value. If you're measuring it just on a monthly basis, that you want to determine how much you make per month, typically you're going to only account for one purchase per month. I don't see many businesses where people buy multiple times within 1 month period. So that's what we're going to set as the criteria. So I'm going to show you what it would be, for example, for a business like mine where I offer marketing services. So if you're a B2B company, we're going to go over that right now. I'm also going to demonstrate after this how you can determine your customer lifetime value if you're an e-commerce or an e-service business. So there's different criteria for both, so we're gonna go over both scenarios. The first one we're gonna go over is if you're a B2B business like mine. So in this calculator, I'm gonna say, let's say I made $50,000 annually from my marketing services. And let's say the number of purchases would be in general how many invoices you sent out, how many people have actually paid those invoices. So let's say in a year, I sent out 200 invoices that got paid. And now we're gonna determine how many clients or how many customers I have. And this is just looking back on an annual basis, how many different customers purchased from you, your marketing services. So let's say for each invoice I sent out, it was actually for the same exact amount of customers. So it was 200. On average, let's say for example, this is just an example, that the average customer lifespan is 9 months. I tend to retain customers for 9 months. Some of them go a little bit beyond, some of them go a little bit before that, but on average, it's 9 months. Now you'll see the results on the right-hand side, where it's gonna tell you what the average purchase value is per customer. They pay me around $250. That means in one purchase, they average $250, but their lifetime value within a year, remember the lifespan of a customer is 9 months. That means I actually make $2,250 per customer. That's their true lifetime value. So this is important to understand. If I acquire a new customer through advertising, it isn't that I made $250. Yeah, they may have made that on that first month, but in the lifespan of what I can expect on average, they're gonna pay me $2,250 throughout the year. So that's what we're gonna use now to then determine the return on investment that I can generate through an ad campaign. So we're gonna move on to the next calculator, which is the service-based or B2B ad spend calculator. And we're gonna use this to determine how much I should spend on ads and how much return on investment I can expect in the ad campaign. In general, I recommend that you spend at least $300 per month if you're running any ad campaign. That usually gives each platform enough money to run these ad campaigns and get enough clicks and impressions per day to really have an understanding of what works and what doesn't. So minimum $300, you can go beyond that, but we're gonna start with $300 ad spend and see how much that generates in terms of revenue. The monthly budget I'm gonna set to $300. Now, expected CPC, this is the expected amount of costs per click that I'm gonna have in this ad campaign. And the way you determine that is by going onto the actual ad platform. In this scenario, I'm gonna show you how you can get the cost per click by using the Google Keyword Planner tool, which is gonna tell me on average what the cost per click is for the keywords that I'm gonna be targeting. So let's go to the Google AdWord keyword tool and we're gonna determine how much the cost per click is gonna be. This is the Keyword Planner. We're gonna find new keywords. And let's get started. Now this is gonna demonstrate to me not only the keywords that I put in as the ideas, it's also gonna give me some new keywords that they suggest in terms of what I can use. So let's look through these, make sure these are keywords that we will actually use in the ad campaign so we can check them off. Yes, I want these keywords, these are the ones that I targeted. These are also good keywords, so let's add these to the plan. I'm just gonna go through and select a few examples so that we have enough to give us a good average cost per click. So after you selected the keywords that you want to target, you want to click Add to Plan, and then it's going to show you how much the average cost per click is. So I'm adding to plan. Now that they're in my plan, I'm going to go to Keywords. So we're going to click Keywords. And this is going to tell me what the amount of clicks, the amount of impressions, but most importantly, what the average cost per click is going to be. As you can see here, the average cost per click is $2.17. We're gonna go back onto the calculator and enter that into the expected cost per click section. So on the expected ad per click, it said $2.17. Let's just put $2.15 as the example. And now the next field is the conversion rate, your average conversion rate. If you've never run an ad campaign, a typical conversion rate that you can expect is going to be between 2% and 3%. That's the ideal. If you go beyond that, that would be an amazing campaign. But just to give you a rough estimate, we're going to go with 2.5% so that we can make the math easy. So I'm going to leave that as default. And as we determined earlier, the average customer lifetime value is $2,250. So on the average customer lifetime value field, we're going to enter that number, 2,250. Stick with that. Now, the next field is the lead to customer rate. So for a B2B business, typically you're going to be running ads to drive people to the landing page where people either call you or they fill out a form. And they don't make the direct purchase right there. It usually requires an extra layer of selling that service. So that's what's going to happen here. We have a conversion rate of how many people go onto the web page and either fill out a form or contact you. But then we have the additional lead to conversion rate, which is when you get them on the phone or if you get them on email when they finally make that purchase. That's another layer that then is a percentage of those people that actually turn into paying customers. And typically, if I can get someone on the phone or if a B2B service can get them on the phone, you're gonna be around 10% conversion rate. So from the people that filled out that form or called you, about 10% of those are actually gonna become paying customers that month. Using that data, I'm gonna leave this default to 10%. And then now we can see the results. We can expect from a $300 budget, 140 clicks, and we can expect 4 leads from that. That's gonna cost us about $75 per lead, which the value of the lead is $225. meaning the expected revenue we're gonna make is $902. That's just based on 4 leads and our conversion rate of 10%. Meaning from this ad campaign, we're gonna make 3 times the amount that we spent on ads. The return on ad spend, ROAs. This field is really what's gonna tell you how much you're making per dollar that you spend. So for every dollar I spent on this ad campaign, I'm making $3 in return. That's a positive ad campaign. That means it is a profitable ad campaign, and that's what I want to run. But let's say, for example, the average customer value was less than $2,000. Let's say people don't stick around long enough and my services are actually, the lifetime value is around 3 months. So that means the average lifetime value of this customer now went down to $750. Let's see how that affects my overall results here. Given a $750 customer lifetime value, now that completely decreases my return on ad spend. I'm barely breaking even on this ad campaign, and it's probably not worth it for me to run an ad campaign given how much it costs per click. If the customer lifetime value is even less than that, I would be losing money. And this is the math that you need to do in order for you to make sure that you're generating a profitable ad campaign from the beginning. If you did this without doing the math and you started running ad campaigns and your average lifetime value of the customer is less than what would equal a profitable ad campaign, you're gonna find out too late and you're gonna spend a bunch of money not knowing that you're actually losing from the very beginning. And that's why I created this calculator for anyone that is running a B2B business, or if you do any kind of service-based business where it requires that you go over things on the phone or a separate step in terms of selling your services, where people don't purchase directly on your site. Now let's go over what it would be like if you're running an ad campaign for an e-commerce business or any kind of business that the person can purchase directly on your website and there isn't that extra layer of turning a lead into a customer. What we're gonna do now is go back and determine the lifetime value of the customer, and then we're gonna go into the second calculator that I created that is specifically for e-service, e-commerce businesses. Let's go back to our lifetime calculator. What we're gonna do here is kind of set this up more in a format of what a e-commerce business would be. So let's say we stick with the $50,000 per month or per year income. Let's say you've acquired 200 customers in a year and they've made 200 purchases, but they purchase in their lifespan within a year multiple times. So let's say they purchase twice per year. You'll see that the average customer value is $250, but their lifetime value is gonna be $500. We're gonna use that in the second calculator to determine what a profitable ad campaign will be. So we're gonna go to the e-commerce ad spend calculator. Let's put that $300 minimum spend, and let's determine what the cost per click is gonna be for an e-commerce business. Let's say, for example, this e-commerce business, I created a store where I'm selling basketball shoes. So let's go back to the keyword planner and determine the cost per click. So we're gonna find new keywords. Now let's click get started and let's see what keyword ideas show up. As you can see from the keywords that show up, let's select the ones that make the most sense for this business. I'm just gonna select the top 20 here or so that are gonna give me a general cost per click. Let's click add to plan and see what the average cost per click is. So as you can see, the average cost per click here is gonna be $1.06. So we're gonna use this back on the calculator to determine if we're gonna generate a return on investment in this ad campaign. So we have our projected monthly budget set at $300. The expected cost per click is $1.06. So let's just roughly put $1.05. When it comes to e-commerce, since there isn't an extra barrier of conversion rate, and typically people are directly searching for that product and you can answer that with your e-commerce page. Let's say they were searching for the Jordan sneakers and you have that product, your conversion rate is gonna be pretty high if that product is at a price point that people are gonna be willing to purchase. So in general, conversion rates are a little bit higher when you run an e-commerce based business than if you're running a service-based business. So I'm gonna put on average, it's gonna be about 3.5% here. So I'm gonna leave that as default, and I'm gonna put the lifetime value now and see if this is gonna give me a return on investment. So the lifetime value as we determined is $500. So let's put that here. And as you can see, we're gonna generate a very net positive ad campaign. We're gonna expect around 286 clicks. We're gonna expect to acquire about 10 customers, which is gonna cost us about $30 per customer. And the expected revenue is $5,000, meaning the net profit is $4,700. If we spent $300 and we made $5,000, we're netting $4,700 in sales. That gives us a 16 times return on ad spend. That means for every dollar that we spent, we made $16. That is a fantastic campaign if you can make it work in that direction. Now that you know that this is a generally positive campaign and you should expect it to be high on return on investment, you can probably scale up your monthly budget and see how much you can expect in terms of revenue. So let's say we move this up to $1,000 per month. You can probably generate a net profit of $15,000. Now, that would be an amazing turnout if you can spend $1,000 and generate $15,000. This example may not be exactly the numbers that you're gonna get for your business, but that's why it's important to determine the customer lifetime value as accurately as possible, because that's what's really gonna tell you how profitable each ad campaign is. So there you go, guys. That's how you can use this tool to determine whether or not your ad campaign is set up to be a profitable ad campaign from the very get-go. Another thing that you can use to determine the cost per click is you can actually go on Facebook ads as well, and you can generate a draft campaign, see how much it's gonna cost on average for those clicks, and put those numbers in as well. I would recommend that you do it for each platform that you're gonna be using. Don't just use the Google Keyword Planner just for determining what it would be for Facebook. Use Facebook to determine what it would cost there. Use Google to what it would determine it would cost there. So there you go, guys. That's how you can use the ad spend calculator on my website. I'm leaving it completely for free. The link is down in the description, so definitely go check it out. If you found this video useful, please make sure you drop a like. And if this is your first time watching, make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel so you can see much more videos just like this and have access to resources like this calculator. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll catch you guys on the next video.